3.5b as in boy. In 3.5a, we started finding the least common denominator, and that's all we did. We didn't do anything besides that. So let's do some stuff with those, because that's the whole point of finding that least common denominator, is so that we can use it. So I'm going to take 3/4 and I'm going to add 1/6. So we go back on how to find the least common denominator. Let's put the 4 on top, the 6 on the bottom. Go ahead and write these as prime factors. Okay, 2 occurs twice here. It occurs once here. So I want the twice. And I can just get rid of that one. I've got a 3 here, and I don't have a 3 here. So it occurs once there and none there. Which means my least common denominator is 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12. Alright, so my least common denominator is 12. So I'm going to replace my 4 with the 12 here, and my 6 with the 12 here, because 6 goes into 12 and 4 goes into 12. Well, the rule in math is whatever you do to the bottom number, you also have to do to the top number. So what did I do to go from 4 to 12? I multiplied 4 times, and that's always the case. What did I multiply by the 4 to get 12? I multiplied a 3. So that means I have to multiply the top number by a 3. So these two fractions equal each other. One is reduced, this one, and this one isn't. But they are equal to each other. But my key was to get the denominators the same. So I can change what this fraction looks like as long as I don't change the value of it. And by multiplying this by 3 and the top by 3, since I multiplied them by the same numbers, I end up with the same fraction down here. I'm going to do the same thing here. What did I multiply 6 by to get 12? Now I have to multiply the top by that same number. So 1 times 2 is 12. Alright, so at this point, I'm where I was at the beginning of the lesson. I can rewrite this as 9 plus 2 all over 12, which gives me 11 over 12 as my answer. Alright, well, let's keep going. Keep doing a couple more of these. Make sure you get this down. Let's do let's do the 7 over 15. We found the least common denominator for that earlier. And what we did, if you remember right, is we did this, 3 times 5, and 10, we made that 2 times 5. We circled the ones that occur the most. The 3 occurs the most because it doesn't show up down here. 2 occurs down here, but not up here. But the question a lot of students ask me is this 5. The 5 occurs once here and once here. So neither one of them occur the most often. So what happens is when they occur the same number of times, you just grab one of them. Okay? Don't grab both of them. Just grab one of them and pretend it occurred the most times. Okay? So what we end up with is 2 times 3 times 5, which gives me my least common denominator of 30. So according to what we've come up with, 15 and 10 both go into 30. So we're going to change our denominators to 30. So what did we multiply 15 by to get 30? 2. So we multiply the 7 by 2. 10 times 3 is 30. So we have to multiply the top by 3, which gives us 9. And then we can rewrite this as 14 minus 9 all over 30. And 14 minus 9 is going to give me 5 over 30. Now when you get 5 over 30, you got to look and see, can I reduce that puppy? So I write my prime factors. Let's see, 2 times 3 is 6 times 5 is 30. So I can get rid of those, and I'm left with a 1 on top and a 6 on the bottom. So that's where I get my answer of 1/6. Alright, so subtraction, addition, no difference. Find the least common denominator, and then you just do your subtraction. Well, let's do one like this. Okay, we got an X on top. So let's see what happens here. Follow the same rules we did before. 5 it's a prime number, so nothing times nothing, there isn't a number to get us 5 except 5 times 1. 6, 2 times 3. Okay, 5 occurs once here, none down here, so the most is right there. 2 occurs here, none there. Occurs once, so that's bigger than none. 3, same thing. So my least common denominator is 5 times 2 is 10 times 3 is 30. That being the case, we're going to change this to a 30 minus a 30. What did I multiply 5 times to get 30? Multiplied it times 6, so I have to multiply this times 6. 6 times x is 6x. We can't multiply these two because we don't know what this is. So what we do is we just put them together, take out this dot, it doesn't need to be there. 6x means 6 times x. It just means we're going to do that. If we knew what x was, we do it. We don't, we're just going to show what we would do if we knew. And we multiplied 6 here times what to get 30? 5. And the top number times 5. So 6 times 5 is 30, 1 times 5 is 5. So at this point we have 6x minus 5 all over 30. I cannot combine these because this one has an x and this one doesn't. So I can't do anything with that. I can't cancel anything because this minus sign locks my 6x and my 5 together. So I can't separate them and cancel anything out. So that is what I'm stuck with. So that's as good of an answer as you're going to get. Alright, well, let's look at some other ones here. Let's look at 1/6 plus 1/8 plus 1/4. It's all done the same way. We just have 3 numbers we have to get common denominators for. So there's the 6, there's the 8, and there's the 4. 2 times 2. Now we go and look at all 3 of them. I have a 3 here, no other 3, so that's the one I want. I have 1 2, I have 3 2's, and I have 2 2's. So 3 2's there is what I want. Okay? Those are the only numbers I've got. So I multiply those together. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 3 is 24. So 24 ends up being my least common denominator. So let's go ahead and put 24s as my least common denominator on each one of these. Okay? So 6 to 24. We multiplied by 4, so we multiply the top by 4. 8. How did we get to 24 there? We multiplied by 3, so we multiply the top by 3. 4. To get to 24, we multiplied that by 6, we multiply the 1 by 6. And that gives us 4 plus 3 plus 6 all over 24. So we add our numerators. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 6 is 13 over 24. And we're good to go on that one. Alright, looks like we're going to be cruising along here onto a third video, because I'm going to run out of time, but I want to do 3 more problems with you because they're different enough that we need to do a little bit of practice on them before we're done with this lesson.